So, Dom, what is in today's market navigator, my Magellan?
All right, so here's the thing. With those record highs that we're talking about, technology is a very big part of that story. So with that record territory, our next guest is keeping an eye on sectors and the rotating around. And she's also talking about her strategy in the face of these volatile conditions. She says technology is well positioned for, get this, a breakout, which could mean even more record highs. We're speaking with Jessica Inskip, Director of Research over at stockbrokers.com. And Jessica, let's take us through this positioning argument right now. What is it that you are seeing? Navigate us through that tech story and why you think a breakout is in the cards.
Absolutely. And it speaks to the bigger picture that we're seeing within the market, the broadening that we've been focusing on. But technology is really positioned for a breakout and has created what I like to call consolidation for that type of momentum that we're looking for. We have failed to make a higher high since July 8th. That higher high is 237 when we're looking at XLK. But when I'm looking at consolidation, I want to see a breakout or what momentum or the chances of that occurring when we are seeing stuck in a trading range. I want to see if we're making lower or higher lows. And that's exactly what I'm seeing. That direction of sideways is going to come to a meeting point at some point, which is really well positioned for a breakout that I see within XLK. But again, looking for that close above 237 and a weekly close above 237.
So if that were to happen, that's upside fuel, a catalyst for that kind of breakout move to the upside. What do you think could be the catalyst that we're seeing or not seeing that could make it so that that move higher is in the cards, really?
Yeah, absolutely. So from a technical perspective, we got a crossover from MACD, which is always a good sign. That's our signal. But the catalyst, of course, is earnings. We're getting into earnings season. Tech's going to be a little later on, the big ones even later so. But it's just the anticipation where the market gets excited. And that could certainly be enough just to take us over that line. And then if we want to talk about targets, when we do observe that weekly close above 237, I love to use Fibonacci extensions from the lowest lows in that full overall market. So if I'm going back October 2022, yeah, we can get a target of 271 utilizing the Fibonacci extensions at the 127.2 line. So there is a lot of room for upwards momentum if we observe that breakout out of consolidation that we're seeing right now.
All right, so for all of those chart patterns and the terminology that she's throwing out there, basically, if these certain levels get hit, success could beget more success. One last question before we leave you, Jessica. That tech trade is the biggest influence on the entire S&P 500. If that were to happen, does that say that the bull market continues for the broader S&P?
I would certainly believe so. It's a big component of the S&P 500, but it's not as black and white as that. There's certainly more cushion because I see some momentum even within industrials. And like we said, coming on at the top of the show, every single sector is showing support at the 13 weekly moving average. And I use the 13, 26, and 40 because we look at the market quarterly. So if 1 quarter of prices is serving as support, that's a really good sign of additional momentum going forward. Absolutely.
All right. Jessica Inskip over at stockbrokers.com. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
I didn't have her pegged for a Fibonacci extension fan.
Yeah, I think she's all about the Nautilus shell and trying to kind of figure out some of those patterns.
But the idea that you have higher lows,
yes,
it sort of establishes the foundation from which a market can move higher.
I mean, people talk about fantasy sports and ceilings and floors. You kind of like to see those floors get raised every once in a while for those players as well.
The floor is low for the Giants.
I'm a Niners fan,
I know
so I'm in a state of flux right now. I'm in this consolidation phase.
All right, Dom, good to see you.